Hey guys, Nintendrew here. There's been a lot of talk about the GameCube recently, and specifically about some new plug-and-play HD adapters that have been making their way onto the market. If you've been following the GameCube scene for a while, you probably know that the console can output a pretty nice 480p image through component cables. But those first-party cables are very rare and super hard to come by. So these new developments in HDMI adapters are pretty exciting, but they can also be pretty pricey. Which got me thinking, what really is the best way to get the best picture out of your GameCube without breaking the bank? So in an effort to answer that question, today I'll be testing 3 products which are meant to do just that, and we'll see which one comes out on top. Without further ado, let's check it out. Okay, so first up we've got one of these new HDMI adapters. This is the Eon GC-HD. Now it's important to note, just like the GameCube's elusive component cables, the Eon GC-HD uses the system's digital out port. If you're playing your GameCube games on the original console and are looking for the best, clearest image, you need to check and make sure your system has this port, as later revisions removed the plug entirely. Through composite video, the standard red, white, and yellow cables, the GameCube outputs a 480 pixel tall interlaced image, but using the original model's digital out port, we can get a much clearer 480 pixel progressive scan signal from games which support this mode. This is how the GameCube's component cables work, and it's exactly how the GC-HD works as well. As you can see, this results in a much clearer and sharper picture with more defined pixels and edges. But this level of quality is going to cost you. The GC-HD runs for a pretty staggering $150. However, much of that can be attributed to its additional features, including on-the-fly toggling of aspect ratio and scanline filters. Now, when I first saw these new HD adapters on the market, my first thought was, why can't you just play these games on a Wii? The Wii has much cheaper component cables and can also output 480p. Additionally, if you have a Wii to HDMI converter, which usually go for around $15 on Amazon, you can see that same footage in 1080p. So I decided to test that method to see how it would compare to the Eon GC-HD. This adapter has been around for years and upscales the Wii's 480p image to 1080p for use with your HD TV. It provides many of the same benefits as the Eon GC-HD with a sharper image and more vibrant colors than the standard composite signal. And it is a much cheaper solution with a typical asking price of around $15 to $20. So what's the catch? Well, unfortunately, this adapter can only output a stretched 16:9 image. This is due to a difference in the way that each adapter processes the signal. The GC-HD takes the raw 480p signal from the GameCube and transmits it at the same resolution over HDMI, allowing the TV to handle scaling and sizing on its end. Whereas the Wii to HDMI takes the Wii's 480p signal, stretches it to 1080p, and transmits that over HDMI. This works as intended for widescreen Wii games, but when given the 4:3 image of the GameCube, it results in a squished picture. So is there no cheaper option for 4:3 480p video over HDMI than one of these more pricey plug-and-play adapters? Well, we've got one more device to cover in this comparison, which is very similar to the Wii to HDMI adapter, but is more of an all-in-one solution, and this is the new Hyperkin HD cable for Wii, which comes with a converter built into the cord. Let's see how this compares to the Wii to HDMI adapter and the Eon GC-HD. At first glance, I expected this new adapter to function much like the Wii to HDMI adapter, but I was pleasantly surprised to find it has its own big advantages. Much like the Eon GC-HD, the Hyperkin HD cable sends the raw 480p image over HDMI, meaning the TV is responsible for handling image scaling, making the default aspect ratio 4:3 as intended, no stretched picture. As for the price, just like the Wii to HDMI, this one is right around $20 and more than $100 cheaper than the Eon adapter. Let's take a look at a side-by-side comparison of all 3 solutions. As you can see, the Hyperkin HD cable is surprisingly comparable to the much more expensive Eon GC-HD. The biggest difference I can see is that both the Eon and Wii to HDMI adapters seem to have a more vibrant color scheme in comparison. But in all honesty, the Hyperkin HD colors seem to be more true to the original composite image, and small tweaks like brightness and contrast are simple to change on the TV itself. All things considered, with such a minor difference in overall quality, it's hard to recommend the Eon GC-HD over the Hyperkin HD cable on GameCube games alone. But the GC-HD has one major advantage we haven't covered yet. Because it runs on original GameCube hardware rather than using a Wii for output, the Eon adapter is fully compatible with the Game Boy Player peripheral, making it potentially the best way to play Game Boy Advance games on original hardware with the highest possible picture quality. If this is important to you, this feature on top of expanded video options may make the Eon GC-HD worth the price tag. However, in my opinion, if you're just looking for a great way to play GameCube games on an HD TV, and you already have a Wii in your gaming setup, something like the Hyperkin HD cable is a much cheaper and reasonably comparable option, and certainly is a direct upgrade from the Wii to HDMI adapter. Okay guys, that's about it. I hope you've enjoyed this video about getting the best picture from your GameCube. If you did, please do consider subscribing to Nintendrew for all sorts of cool gaming content, and make sure to share the video with any friends who might find it interesting. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey guys, thanks again for checking out the video and for making it all the way to the end. Hope you enjoyed. As always, I've got links to all my social media in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, that sort of thing. And if you'd like to help out even more, I've got a link to my Patreon on the right side of your screen. Otherwise, I hope you'll look out for the next video. Take care.